Record it, Rabbi?
No, I'm doing it. I'm. Can you record to Facebook or YouTube as a co-host, Jody? Or do I have to do it?
I can't. It won't let me do it.
Yeah. So we got to figure out how to enable you. Okay. So we are on YouTube now. Okay. So we are now broadcasting on YouTube rather than Facebook Live. One of these days we'll get it right, but luckily this part of the technology is working. So again, Shabbat Shalom. It's great to see everyone tonight. And thank you for lifting your voices with me as we begin with a nigun, a wordless melody. Yai la 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 ya la 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 la. Yai la 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 ya la la la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la la. Yai la la la. Yai la la ya la 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 la. Yai la la. Yai la la ya la 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 la. Yai la la. Yai la la ya la 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 la. Yai la, yai la la la. Yai la 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 ya la 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 la. Yai la 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 ya la 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 la. Yai la 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 ya la 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 la. Yai la la. Rabbi Naomi Levy writes, I love to change the world, but I rarely appreciate things as they are. I know how to give, but I don't always know how to receive. I know how to keep busy, but I don't know how to be still. I talk, but I don't often see. I yearn to succeed, but I often forget what is truly important. Teach me, God, to slow down. May my resting revive me. May it lead me to wisdom, to holiness, to peace, and to you. As we sing the song Maya Fehayom, Shabbat Shalom, what a beautiful day this is, this Sabbath of peace. I'd like you just to think for a moment of ways that you find rest, renewal, and rejuvenation as you enter into Shabbat or other times of respite. And just share in the chat box what gives you that time to rest and renew as you rejuvenate and enter into a new week. So instead of focusing on sort of what Brett you enjoyed this past week, what will you do to bring yourself some rest and refreshment this Shabbat? You can put that in the chat box, and you can also sing Maya Fehayom with me. Maya Fehayom, Shabbat Shalom. Maya Fehayom, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Maya Fehayom. Shabbat Shalom. Maya Fehayom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Nobody put anything in the chat? You guys can chat with it, right? Okay. Thank you, Ivy. Thank you. Everyone follow Ivy's lead. Things that give you rest, renewal, rejuvenation, things a little different from the rest of the week as you enter into this Shabbat. As we turn now to page 20, which corresponds to page 138. We'll sing the first verse of Lecha Dodi as we welcome in the Sabbath bride. Lecha Dodi, likrat kala, pene Shabbat nikabla, nikabla, lecha dodi, likrat kala, pehene. Shabbat nikabla, nikabla. Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom u'mevorach. Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom u'mevorach. Lecha dodi likrat kala pehene. Shabbat nikabla. On page 24, 142, let's welcome more angels into our midst with the words of Shalom Aleichem. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi melech malachei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu. Baruchuni l'shalom malachei hashalom malachei elyon. Mi melech malachei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu. Seitchem l'shalom, malachei hashalom, malachei elyon. Mi melech malachei hamlachim, hakadosh baruch hu. Page 29. There is one who sings the song of his own life, finding everything within himself. There is one who leaves the circle of herself and sings the song of her people. And there is one whose voice rings with the song of humanity, hoping for the highest perfection. And there is one who rises even higher, uniting with all creatures, with all worlds, filling the universe with song. Nivarech, let us bless. If you are in a place where you can stand and it's comfortable, I invite you to do so. For Baruch Hu on page 28, 146. Yai la lai 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 lai. Yai la lai 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 lai. Yai la lai 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 lai. Yai la lai 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 lai. Yai la lai 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 lai. Yai la lai 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 lai, yai la lai 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 lai, yai la lai 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 lai. Baruch hu et Adonai, hamivorach, Baruch Adonai, hamivorach, hamivorach, le'olam va'ed. Hamivorach, hamivorach, le'olam va'ed. On page 30 or 148, we bless God for creating this beautiful world in which we live, God who spoke the world into being. You can join me from home if you have your prayer book in front of you as we read aloud these words. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, ruler of the universe, who speaks the evening into being. skillfully opens the gates, thoughtfully alters the time and changes the seasons, and arranges the stars in their heavenly courses according to plan. You are creator of day and night, rolling light away from darkness and darkness from light, transforming day into night and distinguishing one from the other. Adonai Tzivaot is your name. Ever-living God, may you reign continually over us into eternity. Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings on evening. Baruch atah Adonai, hama'ariv haravim. The greatest gift that God gave to us was the gift of Torah, a gift given to us with love. And contained within this most sacred book are these 6 most sacred words of Shema Yisrael. I'll invite you to join me as we do it with a bit more of intention, of a kavanah, as we share each word with one individual breath, slowly and distinctly. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. Please be seated. Let's sing together the words of V'ahavta, just a continuation of Shema, still words of Torah on page 36 or 154. V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha v'chol levavcha uv'chol nafshecha uv'chol me'odecha v'hayu hadivarim ha'ele asher anochi metzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha b'veitecha uv'lechtecha b'derech uv'shachbecha uv'kumecha uv'shartam le'od al yadecha v'hayu letotafot bein einecha uchtavtam al mezuzot beitecha uv'isharecha leman tizkaru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'tem kedoshim le'Elohechem Ahani Adonai Elohechem Asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim liot lachem le'Elohim Ani Adonai Elohechem Adonai Elohechem emet. I'm going to share the screen in a moment with the prayer and the poem that I want to share. Of course, it needs to be available on the screen. Here it is. Prayer before Hashkivenu. Prayer, the Hashkivenu being a prayer of protection and peace, one in which we ask God to care for us. So I can get my screen working again. Rabbi Naomi Levy, whose works I love and always helps to represent moments in time really well. She wrote this a couple months early in the pandemic, but I still think these words apply now. A prayer of hope during this pandemic. We are frightened, God, worried for our loved ones, worried for our world, helpless and confused. We turn to you, seeking comfort, faith, and hope. Teach us, God, to turn our panic into patience and our fear into acts of kindness and support. Our strong must watch out for our weak, our young must take care of our old. Help each one of us to do our part to halt the spread of the virus. Send strength and courage to the doctors and nurses in the front lines of this battle. Fortify them with the full force of their healing powers. Send wisdom and insight to the scientists working day and night across the world to discover healing treatments. Bless their efforts, God. Fill our leaders with the wisdom and courage to choose wisely and act quickly. Help us, God, to see that we are one world, one people who will rise above this pandemic together. I'm going to share also the words of Hashkivenu. And once again, they always disappear from the screen when I think I have them all lined up. So Hashkivenu, prayer that we say to our children at night or to our grandchildren. I saw at least one person who had a grandchild nearby. Maybe if that person, and you know who you are, Becky, if you want to get your if you can get your, you can get Sadie back.
I'll see if I can get her back.
We'll see. Perhaps you can share this blessing with her.
I will share it with
You will do your best, but if you can, or just reach out if you have a child nearby, or just hold the child in your heart. We'll sing together Hashkivenu. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom, l'shalom, v'ha'amidenu malkeinu l'chayim. Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha, ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha. Amen. Shelter us beneath your wings, O Adonai. Guard us from all harmful things, O Adonai. Keep us safe throughout the night, till we wake with morning's light. Teach us, God, wrong from right. Amen. 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 Baruch atah Adonai haporei sukat shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael. Ve'al Yerushalayim. Ve'al kol ha'amo, ve'al Yerushalayim, amen. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael. The Baal Shem Tov teaches, enter into prayer slowly. Do not exhaust your strength, but proceed step by step. Even if you are not aroused as your prayer begins, give close attention to the words you speak. As you grow in strength and God helps you to draw near, you can remain and say the words more quickly and remain in God's presence. One of the reasons that we read the words of Adonai Sifatai Tiftach, these words that come from Psalm 51, is to help us enter into prayer slowly. It gives us a bit of an intention, a kavanah. Our time of prayer is punctuated either by words that are in the book that others wrote for us, or the words that are inscribed upon our heart, the words that we need, words of praise and thanksgiving that we offer on the Shabbat. So I'll invite you, if you do have a prayer book, after we sing Adonai Sifatai Tiftach together, which begins on 46 or 164. You can pray all the way through 62 or 180 if you'd like to be with the words. Or you can simply just be with your own thoughts, your own words, your own ideas, your own prayers. If you're able to stand, I invite you to do so. We'll enter in together with Adonai Sifatai Tiftach and then pray silently. Adonai sefatai tiftach ufiya gita hilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Page 62. May the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable to you, Adonai, my rock and my redeemer. Yehiyu liratzon, imrei fi, v'hegyon libi lefanecha. Yehiyu liratzon, imrei fi, v'hegyon libi lefanecha. Adonai tzuri, Adonai tzuri, Adonai tzuri v'goali. Adonai tzuri, Adonai tzuri, Adonai tzuri v'goali. Yehiyu liratzon, imrei fi, v'hegyon libi lefanecha. The words for Misha Berach are on page 253 and corresponds to page 371 if you need the words. As has become our custom, I invite you to please type in the chat box the name or names of those
On chat, you type it in.
whom you are like to offer a prayer of healing. I'll read the name aloud, and then afterwards we'll go through the screen, and Becky and Jody will help me make sure that all the names have been shared. We ask for God's healing presence to be bestowed upon Karen Levenberg, Susan Morris, Susan Weinrip, Nancy Cohen, Flora Day, Katrina Brannigan, Sally Marriott, Jerry Willick, Stu Cohen, Beckett O'Reilly, Zach Hirsch, Michaela Hirsch, Seth Cohen, the Schlossberg family, Melinda Lichardello, Richard Dutkin, Mark Spicer, Edwin Krause, Shelley DeSatnik, Lou Balcher, David Podgore, Esther Green, Flory Crivet, David Tell, Herb Nassau, Lou Fleischer, Mark Walker, Esteban Nazar, Marsha Procini, Barbara Rosenberg, Joan Woodland, Kenny Rosen, Les Handler.
Rabbi, I think you might have skipped over Sarah Vague. And Barbara Paley Cohen.
Okay, I don't see them on my, really? Okay. Apologize.
I think they might have typed those to me privately.
Oh, okay, can you read those names again, Becky? Thank you.
Yes, Barbara Paley Cohen and Sarah Vague.
Thank you. Are there any other names that people would like to add? Rita Levin, Blanche Rackety, Barbara Polonsky. there are other names, just raise your hand and Becky or Jody will call on you. You can unmute yourself for a moment and say the name aloud.
I don't see any hands, Rabbi.
So I add the names of Debbie Danforth and Rabbi Rob Nosenchuk. For all those named and those whose names we continue to hold in our hearts, we pray together. Misheberach Avotenu Mekor HaBracha Le'imotenu. May the source of strength who blessed the ones before us help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Misheberach Imotenu Mekor HaBracha Lahavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen. So, as we turn into a time of conversation, oftentimes this is sermon or Devar Torah time, I'm actually going to turn it over to many of you, and I'll explain what we're going to do. As you might imagine, since about Shavuot, many of us on your clergy team have been thinking deeply about the High Holy Days and what they will look like and what they will mean this year. Maybe you haven't been thinking about them for as long, but as we are approaching the month of Elul, which begins on Friday, and as we are ramping up our preparations, doing activities and learning and practices during the month of Elul, you're going to read a lot about it in Sunday's email. I wanted to give folks an opportunity to talk with one another in small groups. I think that one of the things that we definitely lose without having an oneg every week is the opportunity to share ideas and talk a little bit and schmooze. This isn't just regular schmoozing. This is really more about you sharing with one another the things that you'll miss, the things that you might need, and what you might be looking forward to as these High Holy Days approach. We have been working to not only create what we hope and trust and believe will be meaningful, different but meaningful experiences through live stream, but also lots of opportunities to come together on Zoom, whether for classes or other opportunities to come together. We'll have some learning taking place in the weeks beforehand, during the week between Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. In some ways, there's probably going to be more opportunities to prepare this year than maybe we've had before, which is sort of one of the results of this time, is that it's encouraging us and inspiring us to think bigger and more deeply about certain things. So let me explain what we're going to do. We're going to break up into groups of probably 5 or 6 screens. So everyone should have an opportunity to be able to share with one another. Hopefully nothing will be too big. And when you get together in your group, you'll have about 10 minutes or so. Just introduce yourself, where you live, how long you've been a member, just basic, okay? And these are the questions that I'd like you to think of tonight. As the High Holy Days approach, what do you feel you will miss most this year? As the High Holy Days approach, what would you want to see that would make it feel familiar? It's not what we are going to do, but what would you want to see that would make it feel familiar? And looking aspirational and really positive. As the High Holy Days approach, what is something new and different that you'd like to experience or like to see during these High Holy Days? Okay. So the way for this to work is for everybody to, when the little box comes up and says, enter breakout room such and such, to go into that breakout room, number one. And then if you feel comfortable sharing, that's great. Please let everyone share, so not one person or two dominate the conversation. And if you're able to get through all these questions, that would be great. What I'd also love is if there's someone in the group who's willing to sort of either take mental notes and perhaps report back a little bit or put in the chat a little bit later on, because it's great for all of you to share with one another. It's also helpful for me and what I can bring to Cantor Kolbrenner and Rabbi Goldberg and to our Ritual Life team to continue to think of ways that we can make this experience even better for you. Okay, so I will take these questions. I will do my best to put them in, there's a message box that will come up. I'm going to stop sharing the screen right now, and I'm going to put us into breakout rooms. So you'll have, let's see. 7 rooms, 5 to 6 participants in a room, and have a good conversation. And thank you for really being open to this idea tonight and helping to share with one another and with me as well. We'll see you in about 10 minutes or so. George and Ellen, how are you? Do you not want to go into a room? It's okay if you don't want to. Where'd you go?
Again.
Who's Matt?
I'm back. I was hanging out, waiting.
Who's Matt?
Matt.
I'll find out who Matt is.
Oh. I guess
I'm not
we
going to assign you to a room. I'll let you.
Okay.
I think the Firestones are having dinner, I think. And I don't know about George and Ellen. It's always hard when there's, no picture, no camera.
Yeah.
Who else is
Meet over somewhere.
Everyone else is.
I said to go, and then all of a sudden I'm like, oh, I didn't want me to
I hope people are
chat.
doing the assignment.
I'll let you know.
Is that Matt Kleiman there or someone else?
They're muted.
Yes, it's me.
Oh, Matt, how are you? So we are we're doing, did you just join on or did you get kicked off and come back in?
No, we just joined. We had whatever. We had some
No, that's fine. So
issues.
we're actually in breakout rooms, like talking about high holidays. I'm just going to assign you to a room, okay?
Perfect.
Fine.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So just give me a second.
All right.
Let's see, Matt, I'm going to put you in that one. Assign to one.
Look at that. All
Yeah, join.
right, Rabbi, I'm going to hit join.
Yeah, please do. Yeah, absolutely. Sounds good.
Are you sending me over or am I hanging out?
No, do you want to go over? Or do you want to? Are you just good hanging out?
Whatever you want to do.
I want to just get these messages out to folks.
Okay.
I oftentimes don't send staff over. Sometimes they talk more openly if we're not there. So, you okay just hanging out? Actually, what I would love to be able to figure out, oh, you there?
Yeah.
What I'd love to be able to figure out is how to enable you or Becky to do more of like the technical stuff, like the screen sharing and the recording and stuff like that. Because I don't think, can you or not? Can you screen share as a co-host?
If you give me permissions, I did for Rachel one time. So as a co-host, yes, but I don't have any of the ability to do YouTube or any of that.
Yeah, well, if you sign, unless you actually signed on with the main host,
Right.
then you'd have to, okay. But because I was trying to, I would love for this to be on Facebook more than YouTube, quite frankly. I think they'll be seen more widely, but I was just trying to, I was trying to do that before we didn't have a chance. So I'm going to give, what time is it? I'm give people a 2-minute warning.
So is everything we're saying going to be on YouTube?
What?
Everything we're talking about now is on YouTube.
Probably. So make sure all you say are nice things.
That's all I ever say. Da-da-da-da.
Curious to see what people are saying. We're very clear we did not want to create a survey, because you do a survey, you're going to get everyone's going to want everything. So at least kind of get an idea how people are feeling. How's your puppy? Oh, wait, you got it right? You got a?
Yeah,
Right.
she's good. She's 4.5 months now.
Oh no, so you got a car. That's right. I knew you got
Oh, I
something.
got a car. The
Yeah, I
other
know you got
day.
something new. I know you've gotten 2 new things.
Oh, but
a puppy and a car.
go to world record, right? I drove home, parked my car in the driveway, and the next morning I had a flat tire.
Get out. Would
And
you?
so I brought it back today because we kept putting air in it and it kept going back down.
Right.
And so I drove it back to Doylestown today. I have tire insurance, don't worry.
Was
But
there
they said
something
it's a record.
Was there some, did you run over something already?
There's a teeny tiny nail.
Right. All right.
25 miles into my car.
Right.
World record.
All right, I'm gonna click. People are gonna come back, so. Hey, Jody, can you do me a favor? As people are sharing some answers here, can you just type them into your computer, kind of be my recorder or secretary? That'd be great. Thank you. Back, everybody. Welcome back, everyone. So I think everyone is back now. Looks like everyone is. So I hope you all had good conversations. If there's anyone in your group who is recording or just someone who wants to share a thought or two about what you're going to miss the most. So we can all, I imagine there's going to be some common themes. I can imagine what folks are going to say, but as these high holy days approach, a very different high holy days, what are you going to miss the most? Yep, Dunny? You raise your hand and I'll call on you.
Well, we kind of decided, well, Debbie and I decided, but I think everybody, that the physical closeness, the hugging and the kissing and the handshaking and, you know, just seeing people and, Rabbi, I don't know if you've noticed it yet or not, but there's a whole group of people who have been around the synagogue for probably almost 40 years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We all know each other. And,
right. Yeah.
We were coming to synagogue in the old sanctuary, and that. I mean, I'm going to miss seeing everybody, but seeing friends from 40 years up front and close is going to be somewhat difficult to deal with.
I'm sure, absolutely. I think we're all feeling that, whether you've been here for 40 years or 4 years or 4 months. So, Harriet.
Well, we all were saying the singing together and actually harmonizing. And a lot of people are going to miss choir, but not the robes. They're not going to miss the robes.
Right.
And just being in the flesh, with the other people. Mm-hmm. And the key important thing was the shofar. We want to hear the shofar. Mm-hmm. And somebody said, I definitely want to get this in, that a parking lot idea they liked. Mm-hmm. And maybe a drive-by, some kind of service, so there's less of an echo chamber when we hear the music.
Great, thank you. Thank you.
And someone else has an
just right on time. They're the dogs. So another second question: as the high holy days approach, what would you want to see that would make it feel familiar? So, knowing that, as Dunny said, we can't come together and hug. That'd be nice. We can't experience the choir in person as the way we would like to, but know that your choir members are working very, very hard, as you will hear, to create opportunities to weave videos together. So you'll be able to hear the choir just in a different way. What would you want to see that would make it familiar that you think we might be able to recreate online?
Rabbi?
Yeah.
For Yom Kippur, I was saying if you could get the cellist, wherever he may be.
That's done. That's done.
To play, huh?
Check.
Oh, good.
That's done.
Okay.
That's done.
Very good.
5 months ago, when we said, like, what are the absolute things that we have to have? Jason Calloway was like.
Okay, very good.
So what would it see that would make it more familiar? Let me think broadly. Who else wants to say something? You can raise a hand. Yeah, Steve Rosenberg. And unmute.
Is there any way?
No, hold on, Steve. Steve Rosenberg.
I think we could echo that. I think everyone wanted to hear the cello player,
Mhm.
and I think we all wanted to hear the choir, and I think the music and the shofar blowing.
Right.
So any kind of music that reminds us of was comforting and familiar and makes us feel at home.
Right.
Yeah. Thank you. Was there another one who wanted to say something?
Sheldon, did you want to
Yeah.
say?
Sheldon, did you want to say something?
I know, some way of saying hello to the people we only see during the high holidays. But are we going to have any kind of interactive opportunity to do that? I don't know. I can't imagine how, but.
Well, using our Zoom technology and sort of like a virtual oneg or a breakout room, it won't be quite the same, but there'll be some, some opportunity to do it that way. And how about, as the high holidays approach, what is something new or different that you'd like to experience? I mean, one of the things that this season is providing us is ways to think out of the box and do things new and creatively. What's something new and different that you'd like to see or experience during the high holy days? Stan Cohen, and unmute.
I think that's right.
Rabbi, what I was saying that I think is a time for all of us in the Philadelphia area, if it could ever be pulled off, is that all the synagogues get together and say one prayer together on a Zoom. Even if we say the Shema together, all the Philadelphia synagogues or Philadelphia area synagogues, to show each other, hey, we're still here for one another.
A great idea.
A very nice idea.
What else? Something that can be new or different that you want to see, thinking creatively.
Well, I don't know how creative, I don't think it's creative, but there are things in the Mahzor, especially I was looking through Yom Kippur, on these side pages where there are little essays or little thoughts that, that we really never are part of the service, but maybe there are some parts that, for instance, that could be integrated into the service. I mean, just as a quick example, on page 305 of the Yom Kippur, there's a little section called 7 Social Sins, which should probably would work in with the whole Tikkun Olam thing.
Right.
So it's just a suggestion that there are really interesting commentaries on the odd page.
And we're thinking of ways that we might be able to use commentaries, if not during the service, but in either study sessions or in other opportunities in the days leading up to, or the days in between. There's some of that as well. So folks, another lots of wonderful ideas. I hope that if anyone, if there was a specific note taker in your group, you can that person can send notes to me if you have other ideas. Like I said, there's we're working very hard, and not just the clergy. We've got our ritual team led by Debbie Rosenthal and Alan Rawitz, and a whole committee of folks who are creating different sort of opportunities that you'll be hearing about. So you'll be beginning to see some information next week, and some emails that will be coming out that will give you a little bit more specific as they finally get narrowed down. But thank you all for sharing, and really for being with us and supporting us and supporting one another during these very strange times. So thank you. Turn it over to John Stevens.
Thank you, Rabbi. Shabbat Shalom, Shirami and guests. Let me get to my notes. It's good it's not good. It is great that we are here together. And Rabbi, thank you very much for allowing us an opportunity to talk about our aspirations for these upcoming high holy days, because they are definitely going to be different. And thank you to you and Cantor and Rabbi Eric and the ritual committee for working on what I know will be memorable and meaningful. And Rabbi, just between you and I think our duet sounded great tonight, although I will admit it sounded in a lower register than usual. A couple of things. You will hear a lot this evening about Brit Kehila. It is our commitment to gather safely. And if you watch, there'll be a video that I'll talk about it next week. But many of the events that we have where we can gather together will require reviewing and signing to our Brit Kehila. And what that helps us do is guarantee not only your safety, but the safety of everyone who participates in a Shirami event. So that more on that coming. Opportunities to connect together tomorrow morning. You may bike with Briskin starting either at 8 a.m. or 9 a.m. It is open to all levels of riders. You'll get to ride the back roads of Bucks County, where it just so happens that Shirami is the hub of Reform Judaism, Shabbat morning tomorrow. 2 rides, a shorter ride to and from the Wycombe station. That meets at 9 a.m., a bit longer and a bit hillier. If you we'll start at the rabbi's house and return to the rabbi's house and meet up with all the other riders at 9 a.m. at Wycombe Post Office and the Wycombe train station. So if you'd like to join us, please fill out the brief. That way we know you are coming and know what you'll need to do to be safe. Just to reinforce, don't need to wear a mask while you're riding, but as we gather together and chat, you will need to have a mask for that. When you sign up, the rabbi will make sure that you have all directions on where to meet. 5781 is coming. As Rabbi said, the month of Elul starts on Friday, but with 5781, we will have a new Shirami tradition. We can all send a sweet, happy, and healthy New Year greetings to all of our community by sponsoring a Rosh Hashanah bag. Please see the Sunday e-news and Monday's following email just so you can find out how. The good news is that it will be very easy to do. We'll do all the connections through Shul Cloud so that you can sign up and for all the opportunities to volunteer or send greetings throughout the congregation. If you are having any computer troubles, my understanding is that Barbara Roth will be our tech support for that, although I don't think she will be personing the phones 24/7. And by becoming a sponsor for just $36, you'll be performing a mitzvah of sending a happy and sweet New Year to the community and tzedakah for our community at the same time. And a great big thanks to Donna DeSantis and Natalie Cohen, who are working very hard on making this happen. On Tuesday night, the 18th, the Final Sounds of Summer series will answer the question, what is your musical guilty pleasure? So sign up for that online as well. Last week's grocery card delivery, we're proud to report again, over $14,000 of cards went to 48 different families. What a great crew of delivery people we had. Shelly and Fred Fisher, Linda Brown, Anita and Jean Rubin. Anita, who dropped mine off and shared a little bit of her angst about the choir singing, but I know it'll be wonderful. Barbara and Lenny Roth and Bob and Donna DeSantis all did deliveries. So you can plan, the next set of deliveries are August 30th and September 7th. So plan ahead and have enough cards to tide you through the next couple of months. Let's see, lots of opportunities for books. One of the things that book club, from our outreach, we learned that we wanted to gather together, and we heard that again tonight. So members of the community will be leading a book club once a month. Harriet Paley will be leading The Only Woman in the Room by Marie Benedict. Mara Reese will lead a discussion on a children's Bible by Lydia Millett. Faith Bowers will lead The Book Club by Mary Alice Monroe. That sounds appropriate. And Wendy Sosky will be leading The Kitchen House, written by Kathleen Grissom. Watch the email for that and make sure you have your books so you can have that. I am sad to report Women's Place in Trenton has said that is running low on some dried and canned foods and anticipate that they will continue to be an increased need as the pandemic continues. Another pantry we support, the Pendel Pantry, says there's an increased need, and there's interesting reasons for that. One is school drives that typically happen aren't. The sources of buying foods in bulk are going away because of the kind of food shortages and the food supply chain. And there are more and more families who have need and taking advantage of the bounty of the pantry. So we need to continue what we're doing, which is refilling our pantry from week to week. But also I'd like to announce that our high holiday food drive is coming. Collections will start on September 20th all the way through the 18th. We are working out the logistics to be able to collect and sort safely so we can keep supporting the need for food security in Bucks and Mercer counties. Sadly, we won't be able to have the one-day festival of sortation that we celebrated last year, but we will be able to create many days of safe sorting as we collect food. Another announcement that is up and coming and important, Tikkun Olam Committee has been working with URJ's local RAC, Religious Action Center in Pennsylvania group, and with Power Bucks to advocate, get out and vote. You know, it is our responsibility as citizens to do that. So we are working together to leverage all of our passion for voting and petitioning local, state, and federal representatives to end voter suppression. If you want to find out more about that and support our nonpartisan efforts to reach 100% voter participation and use of mail-in balloting, which we will need during the pandemic, please contact Art Kraus at his email address. Spiritual growth. You'll see an announcement on Monday about opportunities, many different opportunities at many different times to help prepare for High Holy Days through the month of Elul. Rabbi will be participating with 4 colleagues leading a daily session throughout the month at 11 a.m., focusing on the Psalm 27, a daily moment, a book written, which I can't find here. Rabbi, you'll have to talk more about that on my behalf. And then there is a Shofar project, which is an intensive 4-week online program hosted by the Institute of Jewish Spirituality. Tomorrow, Cantor will lead Hevra Torah at 10:15. Check your email for the Zoom link for that. And I just want to wish everyone a rejuvenating, peaceful, and a joyful Shabbat. Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you, John. Thank you, John. What I just will fill in is that just take a look at the email that you're going to get on Sunday. That will share some of the projects and programs that we're going to be doing during the month of Elul. There are 3 different ones. One is just internally for Shirami. Another one is collaborative with 2 other synagogues, with some friends of mine. And the third one is a nationwide program with the Institute for Jewish Spirituality. Email, all the information will be there. So hopefully you will join us. Yes.
And I don't mean to step on you, but I left something out, and I know it's really important.
Okay.
I need to introduce Ellie Short, who needs to announce our T-shirt winner.
I have a drum roll, please. After much discussion, interesting discussion, I am very pleased to announce that the winner of our Tikkun Olam T-shirt contest is Lily Smolin for the young adults, the children, and Nancy Levitt for the adults. So stay tuned. I know you're all going to want to buy T-shirts, our Shirami T-shirts. So congratulations, winners. And thank you to everybody who submitted. It was difficult.
And Rabbi, thank you for letting me interrupt you. So I apologize for that. And thank you, Ellie, for leading the contest.
Great. And thank you, Ellie. And thanks to all the members of the Tikkun Olam group who helped to choose this, and for all who contributed as well. There were some really great designs and hard to make those choices. So again, so Shabbat Shalom, folks. We're going to continue on page 291 or 595. There are stars up above, so far away we only see their light long, long after the star itself is gone. And so it is with people that we loved. Their memories keep shining ever brightly, though their time with us is done. But the stars that light up the darkest night, these are the lights that guide us. As we live our days, these are the ways we remember. We're observing Shaloshim, the first 30 days of remembrance. For Deborah Podgore, aunt of Robin Firestone, for whom we're observing Shiva, the first 7 days of mourning. We continue to observe the first 30 days for Isidore Swallow, and Harry Tankin. And we remember those who died at this season in years past, whose Yortzeit will fall next week, and whom we remember with love tonight. Joan Berger, Melvin Day, Gladys DeVore, Leon Engelberg, Rose Egelberg, Anne Elfenbein, Dorothy Firestein, Lawrence Gold. My father-in-law, Karen's father, Gary Goldberg. Paul Goldstein, Sarah Goldstein, Herbert Greenblatt, Jeffrey Canner, Carol Kraus, Claire Kreiner, Yetta Landsman, David Lassner, Maurice Laster, Irma Lieboff, Evelyn Liebskind, Betty Norkin, Ida Oring, Morris Pachter, Harry Pliskin, Jared Rosenthal, Sylvia Chevelle, Ida Snyderman, Charles Chuck Stein, Herbert Tyner, Bernard Weinstein, Manny Weintraub, and Harry Wolfson. If you're remembering someone this Shabbat, and I did not read their name, please unmute yourselves and share the name aloud. Zichronam livracha, may the memories of all of our beloved ones be for a blessing. If you are saying Kaddish tonight, I invite you to unmute yourselves so we can hear your voices. Others, I invite you to remain muted, as you can still say it from your home. Please rise if you are able. And please join me. Yid Gadal, Yid Kadash, Shnei Rabbah. Alma, Divrach, Hirutei, V'yamich Malchutei. Chayechon, V'yomechon, Chayei, Beit Yisrael. V'agala, U'bizman, Amen.
Amen.
Yehei Shmei Ma'ava, Barach, Olam Amei Amaya. Yiparach, Yishbach, Hadar, V'yitalel, Elah, Hey, Shlama,
Shalom Barama, Ruya Shalom, Aleinu v'Yakol Yisrael, Amen.
Amen.
May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us and to all Israel, to which we say, Amen.
Amen.
And we'll conclude with the singing of Oseh Shalom. Oh, Oseh Shalom Bivroma, Hu Ya'aseh Shalom Aleinu, Ve'yakol Yisrael, Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu, V'yakol Yisrael, Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu, V'yakol Yisrael. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Unmute yourselves. Greet everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom.
Shalom, everyone.
See you next week.
Groups, if you want to hang out for a little bit.
Well, stay healthy.
Next week. Shabbat Shalom.
Oh, Becky, she's.
Shabbat Shalom, Becky.
Bye.
Finally.
Next week.
Where's our Sadie?
Sadie Rowan says Shabbat
Sadie,
Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Oh my God, you look so happy, Becky.
Hey, Shabbat Shalom.
Good things come to those who wait.
Absolutely. Shabbat
Enjoy.
Shalom,
Enjoy the rest of the
everyone. Great to
afternoon.
see you.
Shabbat Shalom, Jane. Shabbat Shalom, Lenore.
Yes.
Thanks, Danny, for the comments before.
Very welcome.
Harriet, I don't know if you got my email that I sent you last week, but I need you on Wednesday.
Okay.
Did you get my email?
I have to check.
What? Okay, we'll talk. We'll talk.
Yes. Yes, let's talk.
Okay.
Goodbye, everybody. Shabbat
Bye,
Shalom.
everyone.
Shabbat shalom all.
Shabbat shalom. Happy Folk Festival weekend, everybody who's watching.
Oh,
What festival? A folk festival?
Folk- Virtual Folk Fest,
a
yeah.
virtual?
Awesome, very good.
Oh,
Are you watching, Ivy?
I am, yeah.
I didn't sign up yet, but I was going to right after this was over.
how do we do that? How do we sign up?
Just go to
You
the,
get up, bring up their website, and you have to pay them something, and then you can watch the whole festival.
Oh, okay.
but they'll have videos of the whole week.
Right. They'll have
Um,
videos from this and for the last 40 years, I think.
Yeah, yeah.
Any of the, oh, really? Is that what it's gonna be? Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, they're moving up to the, from like 40 years ago to the present.
Well,
Right.
I think that'll be really fun.
And there's a huge number of acts this year, too.
Yeah.
When is it? Tomorrow,
It's-
or can you?
It's tonight, tomorrow, and Sunday.
Right. It started last night, but you'll be able to watch it if you missed the parts anyway.
Ivy, you want to come for a swim?
Perhaps, maybe. Let me think about it. Not tomorrow, but I have to do something with my son. But
Okay. Well, Sunday afternoon, we're good. Check it out.
all right, I'll call you.
All right. Take care, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Shabbos.
Shabbat shalom, everybody. I think I'm going to go make dinner.
Yep. For next week.